Welcome to the Community Forum. My name is John Galatino, and I'm your host. This evening we have the 24th Senatorial District candidate, Duane Perkins, and we should have some interesting discussion about some of the issues that are involved in this district and some of what he's campaigning on and how things are going in the campaign. So thanks for tuning in, and thank you, Duane, for coming on the show.
Thanks for having me.
All right. You're welcome. First of all, tell us a little bit about yourself, how long you've been in the Danbury area, maybe a little bit about your family and what you do for a living, and why you're running.
Okay. Born and raised in Danbury, as many people here already know. Went through the Danbury public school system. From there, well, actually, let me just slow down a little bit. I was pretty heavily involved in sports when I was in Danbury High School. I played football and I played basketball. A lot of times during the summer, a lot of us would go to the War Memorial and play Summer League basketball there, where I have a nice little collection of trophies. From there, I went to Connecticut Community College. I wasn't exactly sure what I wanted to do with my life and whether or not I wanted to try to pursue other types of higher education. So I went there as kind of a stepping stone. Several of my friends and I went there. From there, we transferred up to Northeastern University, graduated from there. I came back to the community that I love so well, Danbury, and began working and raising family.
So what are you doing now? Are you an instructor? Or?
Yeah, right now I'm currently employed at Naugatuck Valley Community College as an associate professor of business and computer science.
Right.
There I teach a lot of introduction to software courses and also some management courses like supervision and organizational behavior, management, Biz 101, things like that. Pretty good career. I love my job, and I've been there going on 13 years.
Right. I was a little neglectful in pointing out the fact you're a member of the Common Council for the last 2 terms?
2 terms, you're right.
Right, in the 5th Ward. Okay, and what made you think about running for the 24th District? Just that the fact the seat opened up, or do you have some, was there any burning issue? I know we're going to get into the issues themselves, but was there anything in particular that got you thinking along that line?
Well, that was a part of it. I saw a lot of change in the city. I saw a lot of overdevelopment, and that was probably one of the main reasons why I decided to join the council, to try to at least slow down or at least have my voice heard on some of those overdevelopment issues. And I've joined the council, again, like you said, serving my 2nd term in the 5th Ward, which is a very lovely ward, nice open space and things like that.
Downtown, okay.
Yeah.
So what are the most important issues in the 24th District? There's always a point of view as you see them.
Right, right. I think some of the most important issues right now, as I have been canvassing the area, trying to work on campaign finance, I'd say probably #1 issue is the economy. A lot of people are hurting. A lot of people are wondering how they're going to pay for their fuel this winter, for heating fuel. I think a lot of the anxiety is coming from just the uncertainty. Also, wages are strapped. A lot of extra expenses, food, gasoline, and the like have put a very big burden on our taxpayers.
So are you in favor of some type of reductions in the taxes, whether it be the sales tax, income tax, or excise taxes? Or there's a number of taxes that we got in there that.
Right.
A cable bill tax.
Sure. There is talk in the House to look into whether or not they want to modify the gross receipts tax. I would be interested in listening to that discussion. My biggest concern with that would be whether or not that reduction in taxes would trickle down to the consumer. A lot of times we make those reductions and cuts in taxes and things like that. They never really make it to the consumer's pocket. So that'd be my biggest return, trying to implement something that actually may not be as intended.
Okay, and that gross receipts tax is mainly the tax on small businesses, right?
Well, it also comes a portion of the wholesale for gasoline prices. So as the wholesale price of the gasoline increases, so does that tax in proportion.
Yeah, I wanted to clarify that a little bit. As you've been going door to door, and I'm sure you've been knocking on doors, what have you been finding out there? The economy is the main thing, or are you finding other ideas also as you go door to door?
Economy is one of the biggest concerns, and like I said, I have the area is the 24th Senate District, and it covers all of Danbury. It covers a portion of Bethel, all of New Fairfield, and all of Sherman. So it's very large, probably 95 or so thousand people, and it's also very diverse. Needs of New Fairfield and Sherman are different from Bethel and Danbury. So it lends itself to a lot of creative thinking, let's just say.
A lot of territory to cover.
A lot of territory.
Yeah. Are you covering anything in particular? Are you campaigning sometimes in Bethel, sometimes in Danbury, sometimes in New Fairfield, just a hit and miss, a Saturday in New Fairfield and Sunday in Danbury, or what?
Yeah, it's more calculated.
Okay.
We want to make sure that we canvass and try to get as much coverage throughout the entire district. So, but like you did say, I do spend some time in Danbury. We'll canvass Bethel. We'll hit New Fairfield and Sherman as a regular cycle. And we are fortunate to have very good town chairs in each of those different areas that have been helping out immeasurably.
Yeah, it's tough to do as a candidate. You know, it's not like you're running for state rep and you got a slice of the city. You know, you're running in all those towns.
Yeah.
You have to have the organization in the town help you, otherwise it'd be impossible, I would imagine, to do.
And like I said, I've been very fortunate with that. People have been rallying around me to show support for their endorsed candidate, and I really do appreciate that from all of them.
Right. Yeah. Now, so getting in a little more into the issues in the campaign, you have any specific proposals in the area of energy, like cutting the tax for the heat fuels, or is there anything in particular that you have in mind?
Well, other than the fact that you mentioned possibly some sales tax reductions, there's not a whole lot we can do for fuel at the state level. That's pretty much something that will come down from the guys up in gals up in.
You still can pass a resolution, you know, a House resolution, a Senate resolution. I would say, you know, you're in the Senate. Senate resolution that urging the Congress to basically go into the National Strategic Reserve, and that would immediately, within 6 months, you know, in fact, within a month, it would reduce. That's been bantered around down in Washington, but if you need the houses around the state houses and the state senate around the country of the different states, if they all pass these resolutions urging the Congress to do so, the Congress would act and say, let's lower that strategic reserve, so we have an immediate effect in dropping the prices somewhat, and then you couple that with some of the other ideas that are out there, including maybe a little more drilling. You know, I would think so.
Yeah, I think that at least from what I've heard, they're a little reluctant to start tapping into that reserve. I think they want to try to keep it more of a strategic type reserve. But one thing that I'd like to mention as far as energy is I would be prepared to co-sponsor some type of legislation that would propose a director of energy here for Connecticut. We don't have anything like that yet. And the concept behind that position would be to create a position that would actually look at different ways to evaluate fuel uses and expenses. For instance, how electrical rates are determined. I also have, as part of what my platform is to optimistically try to get solar panels on every school in the district to reduce the cost for municipalities on their overall operating budget.
Yeah, it's been said also in the national media that if we get the solar panels on all the major buildings, you can't put them on all the houses, but you certainly can put them on all major buildings like schools and like some factories, you know, the ones that we still have that haven't moved to China, that we would greatly reduce our energy needs, because the solar panels, I mean, the sun's shining most of the time, even when it's overcast, you got a certain amount of energy creation. So some kind of a discounted system, where the state and the national government help out, that would go a long way.
Right, we'd be looking to get at least some additional type credits, because there are credits now.
Right.
Hopefully, if we did increase the credits, maybe more people would be inclined to buy into that particular type of program. So I'm, excited at least to think about those types of possibilities.
Now, you also mentioned that education is something you'd like to do a little more for. What we're under a lot of pressure here in Danbury, but also Bethel and New Fairfield and Sherman. So, what do you basically are thinking in that area of education?
Yeah, well, typically a lot of these different municipalities have education budgets that exceed 50%. I know it's over 50 in Danbury. So is it in Bethel and other places. Mainly to just make sure that those schools have the available funding that they really should be getting. There's different types of programs that are available, and I'd be fighting very hard to make sure that we get some federal, or some state money down to those programs. One thing that does concern me is the No Child Left Behind.
Right.
It's cumbersome, and what we would like to do is just make sure that various parts of that are attainable. The higher up you go, as far as from elementary to middle schools to high schools, you have more of those different types of criteria to meet, and it gets more and more difficult. If you begin to fail, you're considered a failing school. So I'd like to see just more of that dialogue and how we can make those goals attainable.
Again, if the state, both the state Senate and the state House passed a resolution saying it's time to revisit the No Child Left Behind. Yeah, they put these mandates in, but they didn't give any money with the mandates, and that would go a long way. If they modified it or put some money behind it to easing the burden that they put on everybody in the country. You also had some ideas on health care. Anything specific? I know that some things have been done. The Charter Oak program is out there, but it's having some problems with sponsorship. I guess only one hospital is signed on so far. But that is a need that even I, as an insurance broker, recognize has been out there. There's many individuals without insurance that need is definitely there for individuals, and that was I congratulate the legislature in doing that. But what would you do to change or modify the what's been done, or anything new to add?
Well, I do realize that you are an insurance broker.
Yeah, okay.
And there was actually there is a bill in the House that was vetoed this year to allow small businesses, nonprofits,
the ability to go into the state pool.
Right.
Okay.
The premise of that is very promising, and that's something that I would like to explore if I did get to Hartford.
Well, if it's modified, it's workable. So, and I think the governor also stated that. You also had some ideas in the area of open space.
Sure.
What are your ideas?
Like I said, my district is a 5th ward, back near Long Ridge Road, borders parts of Terre Haute, places up in New Fairfield, Sherman, all very concerned with open space. We just want to make sure that we don't get into a situation where we begin to have the various parts of land encroached upon with overdevelopment and just uncontrolled building.
Yeah, we've had so much; it's unbelievable. I think that's an issue we're all over. It seems like every time you turn around, another open space is being taken for a condo project or what have you. So I'm sure there's concerns in all of those towns on that. So good luck on that. Having a little more open space, I think there would be a lot of support out there for it. What are some of the things you'd like to do in Hartford itself? Is there some organizational things you'd like? There's many people say, yeah, we ought to change the way the place operates.
I think it's a little unrealistic to go up there and expect sweeping changes. Those folks up there are working very hard, and I think I'd get a little ahead of myself by thinking I'd come up with these ideas that would change everything. But I also would look into exploring various opportunities and ideas about how we can do things better and just create new, like I said, the energy position would open a lot of eyes and also create more jobs in the area, I believe.
Right. So you want to, like a director, to look into the different ways of improving things, and
Sure.
the state collaborate with the localities on putting the solar panels on the roofs.
Because right now, I mean, some new construction doesn't even really consider it that much, and it just seems like they really need to look into more renewable, viable type fuels and energies.
Yeah, that all makes it go further, and that's what everybody's suffering. If they can cut their bills down in some respects, it's a little bit easier to handle $5 gas and also pay the home heating bill. Also, you had some ideas on campaign reform, I guess, to tweak the system a little bit, since you've been operating it under this new system that they put in, right? Any ideas you'd like to share with us on that?
Sure. For those who don't understand the new campaign finance system, basically the Connecticut Enforcement Committee, SEEC, came up with different types of criteria to meet for qualifying candidates. If you are running for state representative, you have to get 150 in-district contributions and raise $5,000. If you're a Senate candidate, you need to get 300 in-district signatures and raise $15,000. I was able to raise my qualifications in order for me to qualify for a primary grant. Basically what happened was on June 30th, we had $6,700 or so in our account. On July 8th, we realized that if we raised our qualifications, again, which is the 300 in district and the 15,000, we would be eligible for a $35,000 grant. So we all basically put on our game faces and just went out and made the whole thing happen. We went well over the 300 in district contributions. I believe we're up near 417, and well over the 15,000, which again qualified us for that grant.
This is the state finance money. This under the new state finance program.
Yeah.
Do you think that makes it easier for newcomers to get into the game, so to speak?
I think it would be easier for the new people. I think that if you've been there and been around for a while, you probably will be kind of entrenched into your old type system. So for me, it was completely new, very, very new. I mean, even new for the people who began to implement the program. When we had questions, we'd call, and sometimes it took a day or so for them to get back to us with the appropriate answer. Initially, they'd give you a 130-page document that explained pretty much what you would need to do in order to meet their various types of criteria. So it was a steep learning curve in the middle. And as we go along, we can find ways to tweak the system just to make it a little bit better. And I'm sure that once all those representatives and senators go through it, they're gonna want to make some adjustments to it. I can just see that happening already.
Okay. Now, you mentioned earlier, your campaign in different towns. Are you finding anything, any burning issues, like, for example, out in Sherman and New Fairfield that you may not find, let's say, in Bethel?
Yeah,
this broadcast covers Bethel,
sure
Richfield, and Danbury, so I'll just remind you of that.
New Fairfield and Sherman are, like I said, concerned with a lot of open space. Kenwood Lake is a big not natural, but it's a big resource up there, to be enjoyed by all of our.
Also on the east side of town, Danbury people are very concerned about the Lake Candlewood and how the new owners treat them.
Sure.
So you're going to be monitoring that situation a little.
Absolutely.
More. Yeah.
Be working, trying to work closely with Chris Murphy and others, just to make sure that the land stays for its intended purposes, which is for us to enjoy as an outdoor space. He's been doing some very good things in that area on those issues, and I would very definitely parallel a lot of the things that he's doing already.
Right, with on the state side.
Yes.
Okay. And is there any burning issues in Bethel that
Bethel's kind of a hybrid between more of a Danbury and a more open space type Sherman. They have a lot of concerns with trying to make sure that they preserve their open space and also develop some type of business and commerce.
What portion of Bethel do you have? Is it the part just adjacent to the south side of Danbury?
It's the upper eastern part of
the eastern part. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, so they also have open space situations. Yeah. And what are you finding in Danbury? Is there any particular? Are there still people complaining about the income tax or sales tax things, or is it mainly fuel situation?
I mean, Danbury has a whole lot of different types of concerns, and we're just trying to identify the ones that we need to focus on as a campaign. Again, it'd be development, just trying to figure out if we can implement some kind of overall direction.
Right.
Incentives for businesses. A lot of times businesses don't come to the area. It's not really because they're not getting tax credits. It's because the various municipalities don't want them to come in. I mean, I had a discussion with a person who works for a chemical company, and I think a stigma gets attached to various types of the word manufacturing. I think people think of 55-gallon drums rusted out and tilted over, polluting the earth, but there's a lot of controls on those industries now, and it really isn't like that. And they bring along with them very, very high-paying jobs.
Well, it depends on where it goes. If it's right on Lake Kenosha, you don't want them there. But if it's it's over on in the Commerce Park, it should be fine. If with the right regulatory oversight.
Mm-hmm.
So it again depends where it goes. But yes, there's stigmas in certain businesses,
right.
And people got to realize that. Not it's not coming in like it used to come in.
Mm-hmm.
Now you're lucky the business doesn't move to China.
Right.
But certain things need to be here. They can't be in China and take care of your fuel needs.
Mm-hmm.
Chemical companies have to be here. This is where the business is, not in China. So you're getting a lot of questions like that, right?
Oh, yeah.
But I would think still the west side of town's got different maybe priorities in downtown.
Mm-hmm.
Downtown, they're more concerned about what the cost of the fuel is for their house, and the sales tax concerns. And maybe we should have more holidays for the sales tax, so they can go out and buy their clothes at certain times.
Well, yeah.
I'm laughing, but it's the truth. Some people they won't buy. They're cut back on buying things because everything else is impacting their budgets.
Mm-hmm.
So. Anything else that you've discovered out there in town?
Well, I would also like to look into some things for seniors. Not necessarily building a new establishment, but at least setting up some kind of safety net. Possibly trying to close the gap between what their prescriptions don't cover or different types of medical coverage don't cover. Maybe we can figure out ways that we can use state funds to just make sure that those folks are taken care of in that manner.
Yeah, just like we're taking care of kids, we should do more for the seniors so that they got less out-of-pocket expenses.
People, they work all their lives for their homes and the things that they have,
right.
And we should cherish that.
Right.
Just make it. Make their living a little bit more affordable, not necessarily drive the taxes up so high that they're run out of town, which, we're getting to a situation now where that's happening to folks. And,
In other words, you would work with the council if you get into the state senate. You would work with the council to try to have the enabling legislation so that they can raise the property, lower the property tax. So
right.
they're not paying as much in property tax, and also you cover the medical for
Sure.
them.
It'd be more so for that, like I said, that safety net type thing. There are actually a lot of programs for seniors if they meet certain income qualifications.
Right.
But I know in Danbury at least, there are many different types of programs. What they probably should do is just send someone out and explain these different things to folks, because it's even confusing for us.
But maybe you have to look at also, well, 34,000 may not do it any longer. Maybe you should raise that to 35 or raise it to 38, because some people just can't make it around here. Even if you're retired and don't have a mortgage, it's tough to get by. And what used to be the, oh yeah, that's more than enough for a senior, well, it's not doing it any longer. Maybe we ought to raise it a little more and make it 38,000 or 40,000. You know, you cover certain medical things, you cover certain tax abatements up to a higher level.
Right.
So more seniors, like you said, are not being basically pushed out of their homes because of higher taxes and higher costs of medical. You know, so that's what I would think. You know, right?
Sure.
Okay. We've got a couple of minutes left. You like summarize some of your positions, or do you have a website for your campaign?
Yeah, I do have a website.
Okay.
The website, it should be up and running in another day or two.
All right, but you got it right.
Yeah, I do.
Okay.
The website is perkins08.com.
Okay, and that'll have all the information on it.
Yeah, because we're like I said, right now we're adding content, we're adding some photos, we're adding some video, and it should be up and running, I'd say, in another day or so.
Well, that'll be. You got to remember, this show probably won't air for another week, so.
Well, maybe we'll buy a little time with that.
Yeah, yeah.
But definitely the website will be up and going, and real time, as in 2 days from or so from now.
How are you doing on volunteers?
Volunteers. We're doing great. I mean, the campaign, like I said, is going great. We went through a little growing pains at first, because it's a challenge to manage 8 or 9 people all working toward a common goal. But once you figure out the different types of communication modes and that type of understanding, you can start to hit on all cylinders. That's exactly what we're doing now. My email is deperkins2008@yahoo.com.
Okay.
All right.
So if they have any questions for you, feel free to email you, right?
That's right. And we'll get back to them right away.
Any general number for any questions? General telephone number?
Yeah,
you don't know. You don't know your own. Okay. Yeah, because you probably set it up. Just
actually, I don't want to give the number, because there's a Bethel or Danbury Town Committee number.
Okay.
And I don't want to. I don't want to guess at it and get it wrong.
Okay. That's okay. They're going to look up the town committee number. This is where you got
better.
the
I really should know that number, but I don't want to guess at it.
All right. One more time on the website, and then we got to go. They're waving to me.
Website, Perkins2008. I'm sorry, Perkins08.com.
Okay.
And the email is deperkins2008@yahoo.com.
All right, they're waving to me strongly. So thanks for coming on the show.
Thanks for having me.
You're welcome. Thanks to the viewers for tuning in the community forum. Tune in next week, same time, same station, for another interesting program. Good night for now, and we'll see you then.